In this episode, I'm going to talk about what is individualism, why it is bad for kids, why we should switch from individualism to individuality, and at the end, I'm going to give you a very practical framework on how to foster individuality in your home. My name is Efrat Amira. I'm a mom of 3 boys, ages 4, 7, and 12. I'm a parenting coach, and I'm passionate about supporting parents who want to lead with calm authority and timeless wisdom to raise children with character, courage, and purpose. If you like this kind of content, please press the like button below so others can find it as well. Now, what is individualism? In an individualistic society, we value self-expression. We believe that everybody can just be who they are. We believe that everybody has the right to decide for themselves what is right and what is wrong. Everyone can decide who they want to be. In a more extreme sense, everybody can decide if they're even a boy or a girl or everything in between. In this individualistic society, there isn't a big moral framework that everybody is committed to. There isn't one value or a set of values that are inherently better than others, basically. Now, why this is bad for children? Children, when they are born, they are learning about the world. They don't yet know what the rules of the world are. They don't know who they are and what they came here to do as people. They need structure, and the structure that they need is not only around their schedule, what they eat, or when to sleep. They need also a moral framework. They need to learn from us what is right and what is wrong, what is an acceptable behavior, what isn't an acceptable behavior, who they are, who we are as a family, what is important to us, what are our values as a family, what do we hold dear, what does our family believe in. This moral foundation and this moral structure gives kids a mental stability, because children are not meant to deal with big life questions like who I am, what is right and what is wrong, where do I belong to, what is a just society, what are those big values that I need to adhere in my life. These are not the questions that children need to be thinking about when they're growing up. These are questions for adults to deal with. What kids are supposed to be doing is they're supposed to be playing, they're supposed to be learning, and they're supposed to be doing those things without putting too much emphasis on those big life questions, because they are not yet mature enough to understand them on a more broader level. They don't have the life perspective in order to understand these big life questions. This is something that adults are supposed to do. Later, when they are teenagers, they will start to ask those questions. They will start to ask about who they are. Do they agree with everything that their parents are saying? Do they want to follow some kind of different value in their life? They will start to develop those questions naturally in their mind, and that's a good thing. That's how teenagers start to differentiate from their families, because they need to be able to go out to the world and be independent people. But even when teenagers do that and they come from this deep moral foundation that we gave them at home, they won't be completely lost. They will have that anchor that we gave them in the house, and they won't be starting to ask questions that come out of nowhere, that have no context. They have to be asking questions about something that they already know, not starting to ask these questions from a place of confusion, but starting to ask these questions from a place of curiosity and really trying to understand in a deeper level who I am and what I want to be in this world. So what I want to suggest is that we should encourage individuality rather than individualism. Hey guys, I wanted to invite you to my free online workshop on January 14th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. This workshop was born out of many questions that I have been asking as a parent myself, and questions that I've been asking about the principles by which I was guiding the parents that I coached as a parenting coach. Some of those questions were, what is our role as parents in our children's lives? What is the nature of childhood? What is the meaning of being a parent? What is the purpose of all this? Instead of going back to psychological books, what I did is I started to look at different books that come from ancient wisdom, whether it was philosophy books or religious books. And I found really interesting answers for these questions. And some of these answers I'm going to present to you in this workshop that I'm calling Raising Leaders. If you want to sign up to the workshop, I would love to see you there. You can find the link in the show notes below, or you can go to www.efratamira.com /raising leaders. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Hope to see you there. Now, I want to read a part from Rabbi Jonathan Sachs' book, Lessons in Leadership, where he talks about the difference between individualism and individuality. He says, there is, however, all the difference in the world between individuality and individualism. Individuality means that I am a unique and valued member of a team. Individualism means that I am not a team player at all. I am interested in myself alone, not in the group. Individuality means that we recognize each person as unique and irreplaceable. Individuality means that I matter as a unique member of the group. Individualism, on the other hand, is when the focus shifts entirely to the self, without regard to the community, responsibility, or shared values. It's the belief that I am accountable only for myself, and my freedom is all that matters. If this is taken too far, individualism erodes the bonds of society and makes people isolated, self-absorbed, and disconnected. So how do I foster individuality in my family? So we're gonna talk about two factors to think about in here. On the one hand, we are creating the moral foundation for our children, that moral framework for them to be grounded in. How do we do that? We do that by building a moral foundation first, by telling stories that are aligned with our values, that having conversations about different situations that people were in and what was the right thing to do in that situation. Having conversations about things that happened to them and how they think that they should have behaved in that situation. So we want to really guide them and to understand what is our moral foundation as a family. The second thing is that we want to incorporate rituals in our family. These can be holidays or different traditions that we have, because when we incorporate these rituals, then we really embody the values and we really live by the values that we always talk about or that we want to instill in our children. The third way is to connect our family and our children to a larger community. We want our children to know that they are connected to something bigger than themselves. So they are part of our family, but they're also a part of a larger community. That community can be a religious community, it can be some kind of philosophical community, it can be even a community that revolves around their education. One thing that comes in mind is Waldorf education, where in those communities they have a lot of rituals and ceremonies that really ground the children into the values of this type of thinking. So how do we connect to a community? We go to community gatherings, we show our children that we are giving to the community, we try to help out in the community. So we really want to connect our children to some kind of community, whether it's religious, philosophical, or anything that you feel connected to. So by these practices, by having the conversations and the stories and having the rituals in our home and connecting to a broader community, what we're doing is we are creating that moral foundation for our children. On the other hand, we want to also foster their individuality. We want to show them that they are unique members of the group. So they are free to express themselves within the framework of our values. They are free to express their opinions. We are trying to consider them when we are making choices, when we are making family decisions. We are hearing them out. We're giving them an opportunity to express themselves. We're also trying to really understand their strength, what they are unique at, what are their gifts that they came with to this world. And we're trying to help them grow into who they are and how they can specifically contribute to our family, to the community, to the world with the gifts that they naturally have. So we're not trying to mold them into something that we think they should be. We're really trying to understand who they are and foster that and help them actualize that in the world. So there are two forces that are working at the same time. We're connecting them and we're embedding them in a moral foundation and a social framework. And also we are showing them that they are unique and that they are valuable and worthy as human beings. So we give them a sense of freedom. We give them a sense of agency. That freedom and agency is limited within the framework that we gave them. This will give a deep sense of safety, of groundedness, and give them the freedom to really grow and learn and become mature people, become people who are connected to themselves, but also connected to others, that also know that they have obligations towards others, that also know that they need to be responsible for other people, not only for themselves. If you enjoyed this episode, check out another episode where I talk about why it's important to show our children that they're not in the center and why this is actually a really good way to help them be mentally healthy. You can find that episode right here.